Ha, I got you. Semen retention was just a prank, bro. I lied to you. I lied about everything. I did this all for the fame, for the money, for the attention, the views, the clicks. Everything was just, it's just fabricated, bro. Like, semen retention is just placebo, right? It's all overhyped. The benefits aren't actually real, and if they are, they're very, very little and they're not worth it. And actually, like, I've been lying this whole time. My life's a fucking mess. I'm miserable as shit, right? I'm depressed. But you know, like, I got you, right? Because it was a experiment, bro. It was just a prank, bro, right? Is that what you wanted to hear? Is that what these few commenters are saying? Like, I don't get people who say like, oh, semen retention doesn't work, bro. It's like, well, what the fuck do you think I'm making this channel about? You think I'm just lying about like improving my life, and I'm actually like this depressed kid like behind the camera? It's like, well, no, why the fuck would I do that? And even if it was to get views or whatever, what kind of benefit would I get from that? Only stupid people will do shit like that. Everyone who calls it placebo, everyone who thinks this is overhyped shit, right? I'm telling you for a fact, in the best way possible, it is not. It is the best thing I've ever done on self-improvement in its entirety. Because semen retention gives you the drive back that you kind of basically forgotten that you had in the first place when you were a little kid. When you were a little kid, you did everything because you had motivation and time for everything, right? Time moved by so slowly as well as a kid, and that's besides the point. But everything you did when you were a kid, everything had to be exciting, was fun, and you didn't need a lot of stimulation. Like kids nowadays, they have an iPad in their face from the age of 2, from the moment they're able to fucking open their eyes at this point. And you know, it's so sad that I used to like play like snakes and ladders or chess and get so much enjoyment from that, and I've actually gone back to playing chess a lot. I just really love it. Obviously I'm playing on the computer, so I'm not playing physical chess against myself, but I just play chess online, and I tell you what, I have more enjoyment playing a fucking game of chess than I do actually playing regular video games on my PlayStation or whatever, which is absolutely insane. Because you'd think, right, you know, all these different things that are supposed to be pleasurable, you don't really get much pleasure from anymore, or you do. You get the artificial kind of sense of like dopamine release and everything, but you don't really enjoy them. It's like, I wouldn't enjoy watching porn. Like, obviously, like, I'd be a lot more sensitive to it now because I've been retaining for that long. And like, the past few months, it's just been insane progression, and it's been, what's it been, like a month and a half now, or almost 2 months to the point now. I've relapsed like twice in the span of like the last 2 months, which is absolutely insane. And I gotta say, like, you know, the feelings I get now is so much more intense feelings and so much more sensitive, and there's nothing that I would want to go back to. You know, I don't want to go back to this old life. I feel like a fucking loser, miserable. And yes, there might be times I relapse after this. Like, I mean, possibly. I mean, I've been addicted for 10 years, but I've stopped counting the days now. I don't care about the days. I don't know what day I'm on, because I mean, I relapsed like twice really hard in like the same kind of day or so. And for most people, right, if you're on a streak, then you're gonna think like, oh shit, like I restarted now, and you have to restart. It's like, that's not a good kind of like mindset frame to be in, because then you think you've lost all this progress and realize, oh, you know what, actually I used to relapse like 18 times a month, and now I've just done it twice or 3 times or 4 times, whatever. That's insane progress. You know, the people who say like, oh, it's all placebo, it doesn't work, whatever, they will be addicted for their entire life because they have no idea, right? Or they might be one of the few sort of rare people who have never been addicted to porn somehow. Like, I'm not saying that everyone should be addicted to porn, but I'm just saying it's a challenge that basically every young guy has to go through. And even if you were never addicted to porn, you still probably don't do shit in your life. You still probably like fucking play video games all day, and you don't need to produce that extra amount of energy or the extra testosterone or the higher libido, because you don't use it for shit. People who say like, oh, you know, I retained for ages and nothing really worked, it's purely because you do nothing else outside of your sad, miserable existence. And not to be thing, whatever, but I'm just being real with you. I'm just going to tell you how it is. It's not fair to say that semen retention does not work when you don't do shit in your life, when you just play video games, when you just do other things, you eat junk food, and, you know, no wonder your life's still shit then, because you're getting more awareness about like, oh wow, my life's just really shit. And then what happens? You just relapse, you go back to your old ways. Sorry, I got a Tic Tac in my mouth and it's really fucking bothering me. I might just eat it a second. So yeah, maybe semen retention doesn't work. Maybe I just lied to you all, right? Maybe it's just a prank, bro. And like, you know, I've just given you the double middle fingers because why not, right? I never do that. I never like do that to people. I don't know why I did it then. But to the people who comment still saying cope, or like it doesn't work, or you're lying, or you're just trying to berate men. Like, I had this one comment saying something like, oh, you're just trying to like, you know, insult men and make them feel like even more worthless or whatever. And like, Like, no, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to do it with the intention of fucking making you jump out of your skin in a way and actually improve your life. I'm not just here to insult you and feel good about it, because I don't really feel good from that kind of stuff. It doesn't fuel me. What fuels me is knowing that people are going from being a loser, complete loser, and drastically changing their life. And people inside my Aura Academy school, which is currently free, by the way, I thought I'd just plug that in. We've got over 50 members now of people who are just fed up of fucking being like losers, and some of them are a lot further on the journey than I am. And again, that's not a problem at all, and I'm really happy for them. And we're all just there to help each other. We're all just there to support each other along our journeys. And again, whether you count the days or not, I don't anymore. And I think it can be really sort of detrimental to a point. But I tell you this for a fact now, that I didn't feel so good like this in a long time. I haven't had so much energy like this in a long time. Like, a good night's sleep, obviously, like, you know, trumps everything else. But if you're on semen retention and you're doing the good habits and get enough sleep, and again, meditation, man, that's been a massive sort of like W in my life. Like, that's been like the biggest sort of thing that's helped with semen retention. If you're doing like those things, I honestly, like, you can't get any worse. And I know, like, all these self-improvement habits, yeah, they're not going to make you like, you know, a millionaire. They're not going to make you a millionaire on its own. But it's the combination, it's using the right tools along with improving your health is gonna fucking 180 your life. I'm telling you now, right, the other day I accidentally, like, I found some like softcore like porn or whatever on like Reddit or something, and I know Reddit's not the place, but I was looking for something like some supplement for like hair thickening and growth, whatever, because my hair is quite shit, right? And I literally just like come across this, literally, it wasn't even softcore, I will say this, it was literally porn on Reddit. I was thinking, fucking hell, right? And straight away, like, my obviously like intention was think like, you know, I need to get off this site now, I need to go somewhere else. But for a moment, I just sort of like sat there and just looked at it and just, you know, felt a bit of disgust, but also felt the urges inside me, like the strength of my downstairs area, let's say, just becomes so much stronger, and I was so much more sensitive because my fucking libido's through the roof right now, which is like your sex drive and everything, for those who don't know. Because I've been retaining for so long, albeit I had 1 or 2 slip-ups, yeah, it happens, but because the frequency of me doing it, just spin everywhere, because the frequency of me doing it is drastically reduced, all of a sudden, I've just got this fucking, like, drive like no other, and I haven't, in God knows how long, felt this kind of sensitivity and this intense feelings, which is great, right? I mean, it wasn't exactly just the urge to relapse, but it was just getting urges and knowing that I didn't have to do anything about it and I can just enjoy them. And obviously, like, when I found the porn on Reddit, I just fucking gave it a couple of seconds or whatever, then I got off it and I didn't relapse. And, you know, like, I was thinking, like, oh Christ, Reddit probably isn't the best site for this. But that was like a very interesting thing, like one of the few times where you just randomly stumble across porn, which is a bit weird if I'm being honest. But yeah, if you still think everything's placebo at this point, like, look, maybe some of it is, maybe I'm overhyping some of it, I don't know. Or maybe I'm just fucking loving life right now in a lot of areas, not all, but maybe I'm just loving life right now because of how much better I feel. And is that a bad thing? Should I feel bad? Should I downplay it? Should I downplay the benefits of semen retention and be like, you know what, guys, it's all right, but it's not good? Well, first of all, no, that's not going to get anywhere as near as much attention, and you know, I will be honest about that. But the second thing is, I genuinely don't think I'm overhyping it. This is how I'm feeling right now, and I'm making these videos. I'm just telling you how it is. If you think I'm overhyping it, then maybe you should start retaining yourself and just take my fucking advice for once and think, you know what, this guy's probably a piece of shit, but I'm going to take his advice this one time. I'm just going to retain for a month and see if I feel any better, right? Obviously not just retain, do other things as well, but I'm just gonna, like, my main focus is I'm gonna retain, I'm not gonna bust, and I'm gonna see how life goes then. And look, I have loads of more stories to tell now, and I got more videos I can record because I've got further along the, I guess, the timeline, you could say. But the long short of it is that, no, it's not just placebo, okay? I don't get why people say that. To some extent, there's gotta be real life benefits, because you can't just, like, placebo your way to fucking, like, I don't know, get out of depression. I'm sure there's some psychiatrists or some people that probably think different. But for me, it's like getting out of a rut, getting out of depression and everything, all the feelings I felt. And again, I don't know if I had depression or if I just felt depressed. I don't fucking know, but I wasn't fucking happy, okay? But I tell you this for a fact now, that action speaks more than anything else. Taking action on your life and just being fucking pissed off or being a loser, that is going to help you way, way more than just thinking positive thoughts or just thinking like, you know what, I'm going to placebo my way out of this. Like, fuck you, honestly. But sorry, I've been like, really sort of vulgar all of a sudden, but it's just like, I look at those comments thinking, they have no idea, do they? They have never retained past like 10 days before. Because I tell you what, even if they just retained 10 days, they would feel a lot fucking better than they would now. But yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm making this video to sort of like, you know, respond to the haters or whatever. And again, it don't get to be that much, but it's almost like fascinating and impressive how like low people think in terms of like, you know, it really doesn't work or it's just a placebo or fucking whatever. Yeah. Anyway, if you're not already, join our academy now. Have a good one. And as always, remember why you're doing this.